So we're back at the garden swale. We're almost to this final spillway, and the reality is, starting here, it's going to be a spillway, and we're gonna put a break, an actual spillway break in the walkway itself so that it goes down a level, starting probably about here, and starting probably about here all the way to the end. We're gonna be flattening it and grading it slightly so that it will go a little bit that way and a little bit this way. And then starting from here, it's gonna go downhill and then downhill again as it breaks up. And this is going to be the walkway, and it's gonna cant into the hill here as you go around and come out. So this is where the wheelbarrow will come in. There'll be a spillway here. This will act as a spillway up to about here. And then this is gonna be the same height basically all the way across. It's gonna actually cant slightly this way and cant slightly that way at a midpoint. So right here we've got some compost. We're gonna be spreading this out. Carbonaceous compost. We're gonna be spreading this out so that we can be planting in it today, right now. So right now it's August, and pretty shortly it's going to be September. And so thinking of that, I soaked these peas and fava beans. And so the great thing about fava beans and peas is they can grow when it gets too cold for the other plants. Further into the winter, further into the fall. Some things like kale can go all the way through winter just fine. Yeah. So there's some mixing happening. I want to keep it as uniform as possible. I want to keep that compost on top, but mixing is going to inevitably happen somewhat. Looks like I need more compost. There's never enough compost. So yeah, just gonna start with just this area right here and move on to the next one. All right. So this is a fall planting, so it's really a cover crop. So what you can do is you literally can spread your seeds like this, and a few things can happen from here. So you can spread your seeds really thickly, planting them. You can rake it in from here. You can just lightly cover it with light straw. You can cover it lightly with soil. So you could at this point be covering this with soil to hide them. Depends on how bad your pressure is in your area. But yeah, this is just something that you can do. And this water is really good water that you want to be using as well in your spreading of the goodness. So I would say this is enough. This is the distribution is really good. I'm gonna pop down here really quick with the last of these and throw them in here so that I don't waste any. I got more of these inside and all, but I want them to go in an area where they have the right amount of competition. Obviously there's a lot of competition here, right? But I don't want to be wasteful. I want to go right up to that point of maximum benefit. So now, with my dry hand, I can go like this and put them in pretty well. Kind of push in the fava beans when you get to those. But you can just go like this and kind of shake them into the soil a little bit. And then you can come back with some straw and lightly cover them, especially when resources are tight and you don't have tons of compost. This is going to get everyone kind of dirty. It's going to get everyone kind of coated, and that's really what you need. That contact with that soil. And you can go through and break up clumps at this time. Get that air throughout everything. And this could be also that moment where you're just spreading soil on top of everything. Take a grass, bit of soil, Also could be a moment where you grab, stones and remove them. Yeah, but just kind of plugging those fava beans in as you go. Got a little bit of mulch over here I'll grab. Alright, and now you're going to want to make sure that it stays a little bit damp. It's got to maintain the moisture levels to interconnect things for those tender roots to keep going. Now, they have a lot of water in them. They were soaked peas and beans, but they still are going to need some moisture connectivity. So, especially because they're basically surface sown. So, you're going to want to make sure that you monitor it and just use your observation. Stop by, see what's going on, and if they need it, add some water. But this spot, pretty soon it's going to look like this, and then pretty soon after that it's going to look like that. Just in terms of like coverage of green, this is going to fill in completely. It's going to be just vibrant, and we're going to continue this pattern on down and stepwise. I'm going to be adding stones along here. We can do a bit of that right now. We can just start adding those right now. You can see. And so, you just start building that delineation right here. And it just forms the garden. Or nothing. You just make it happen. Natural products, seed. And if you don't have straw or access to get straw, you can just use dried grasses from the garden that haven't gone to seed yet and don't have seeds formed on them or seed heads or anything like that. They could potentially continue to grow and turn into a problem. Yep, this is just how it goes. Continue on down the way. We've got all sorts of rocks. Look at asphalt. But living soils are going to protect us from any kind of contamination from those. But they're actually really old too, old asphalt. So whatever leaching has been done has probably already been done, especially in the situation that we have here. So much rain. Oh. But the fail-safe is that high organic matter in the soil. So yeah, we're just about there. Another section is finished. Just about. Just about. That is good. Glass rocks. Alright. So, we are, and soon we'll be here. Soon we'll just have finished it. A couple days, both the guiding contour swale, which is perennial, will be complete, and the keyline design garden terrace, which is based off of the guiding contour, will also be complete. Access to the garden will be easy, and it'll also be safe. Deer won't walk in through the spillways that are covered with rocks. They're not going to walk on that. It's like a dry riverbed. They're going to break an ankle with those loose stones. Instead, they're gonna stay out of my garden. I don't need fences here. I'm gonna have easy access with my wheelbarrow. Be able to go in behind you and clean up that walkway so it's nice and even all the way through and dig out, because a lot of that is just loose dirt I've been walking on because I couldn't bring the wheelbarrow through comfortably. It's tiring to go and difficult to go up and down this hill with a wheelbarrow because it's such a steep incline. But just going right around this is gonna be nice and easy. I'm gonna be able to clear that out, make this really nice, and then bring in the mulch after I line the stones and set everything so it's equidistant so that I know exactly my catchment for these areas. You can map that out. And then I'll be able to actually have this all perfectly set up, mathematically understood and expressed. And then I'm gonna fill it up with mulch. It's going to have beautiful spillways, beautiful paths with mulch that we're gonna inoculate with different, I'm gonna try to inoculate with bioluminescent fungi. I'm gonna be inoculating it definitely with King Stropharia mushrooms, and it's going to look gorgeous. And then phase 2, we're gonna dig out this whole thing. There's a retaining wall behind this, believe it or not. We're gonna dig that whole thing out, then we're gonna dig out below the guiding contour and put another berm in on the guiding contour. So it's gonna be another keyline inspired berm, and it's gonna be all berries. We're all berries and blueberries and all different sorts of berries down there. And then we're gonna have below that, it's gonna be all the stones gonna be gathered, it's gonna be cladded so that you can't approach it from below either. So this whole area is gonna be protected from deer pressure. This whole area is going to be just beautiful. And this is just stage 1. And I wanted you to see every part of it so that as we build it, you don't miss a thing. And just one point of clarification, what I'm doing with these clumps of dirt is I'm moving them down the hill and stacking them. And so I'm creating this rise in the hill so that I have the dirt that I pull down here is being held in place both by these upside down turf sections as well as a strip of grass that I never cut, that I left intact. It's holding the whole earthworks together. It's like a zipper. You undo those strips of grass and you undo all the work that nature has done to stop the erosion, and you just cause an erosion event. So this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing that. as this breaks down in the decomposition here, it will create a natural, perfect angle for the hill to meet the next walkway in the earthworks section. So this is really exciting. I'm so happy that it's almost done, and that's gonna be so beautiful. This is by far the most beautiful garden I've ever created. This is by far the most productive. It's been the fastest to be the most productive garden, and this is the first season, and it's already just blowing my mind as to what can be done in the cold temperate. I've grown for years, almost a decade, in the dry desert, desert-like conditions of Central California. But this is just such a different deal. It's absolutely incredible. It's an honor to be here in the cold temperate and see the explosion of growth that happens in the amazing summers that we all have when we're in the cold temperate. The year-round season of the desert, of 8B, of zones where you get 112 ambient temperature and summer 140 degree soils. When you hit that, it makes your summer your winter, and then your winter is a whole nother growing season. So this is what we're doing. This is what's so incredible, and I'm so grateful to be able to share it with you all.